We're surrounded by what feels like magic, right? Our phones, our computers, all these smart gadgets. But it's not magic. There's a hidden, really powerful discipline behind it all. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the unseen hero that makes all of this possible. We're talking about production management.
So, have you ever been there? You're so excited for a new gadget to launch, you've got the date circled on your calendar, and then you get that email. You know the one. The launch has been pushed back. Weeks, maybe even months. So frustrating. Or, hey, maybe even worse than that. The product finally arrives, you open the box, and nothing. It's a dud. It just doesn't work. That sinking feeling of disappointment? That's exactly what production management is all about preventing.
See, behind every single device that actually works perfectly, that shows up on time, and that you can actually afford, there's this invisible force. It's the thing that takes the absolute chaos of a factory floor and turns it into perfect, predictable control.
So what is this unseen hero? Who's the one in charge of making sure everything goes right? I mean, everything, from the tiniest little resistor on a circuit board all the way to the final sealed box that lands on your doorstep.
Well, the answer is a whole field called production management. And its entire job, its whole reason for being, is to step into that potential chaos of manufacturing. We're talking hundreds, maybe thousands of variables, and just wrestle it into precise, repeatable control. Okay, so let's get a little formal for a second. Think of it like the master plan for a factory. It's all about the planning, the organizing, the directing, and the controlling of everything. We're talking all the inputs, the raw components, the circuit boards, the people doing the work, and converting all of that into the finished gadgets we use every single day. It's basically the brain of the whole operation.
But, that's a mouthful. Here's a much, much simpler way to think about it. And honestly, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Production management is all about getting 4 things exactly right. The right product, in the right quantity, at the right time, and at the right cost. That's it. That's the mantra.
And these 4 rights, they're not just some catchy phrase. They are the 4 golden rules. These are the primary objectives that guide literally every single decision made on that factory floor.
Yeah, just 4 rules. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? But, and this is the key, getting all 4 of them right at the same time is the incredibly complex challenge that defines this entire field. It's way harder than it looks. So let's break this down, because this is where these abstract rules get really concrete. Right quality? That means your USB-C charger isn't going to overheat and start a fire. It's passed all the proper voltage and safety tests. Right quality? That's why when you go to the store, that smart plug you wanted is actually in stock. They didn't make too many or too few. Right time? Simple. That's why a product actually launches when they say it will. And minimum cost? Now this one is about being smart. It's about optimizing everything without cutting corners. A great example is designing a printed circuit board for efficient manufacturing. That's called DFM. It's one of the big reasons our tech is so affordable. And trust me, getting any of these wrong has huge consequences. Let's just zoom in on right quantity for a second. If you make too few of something, you get stockouts. That means lost sales and really unhappy customers. But if you make too many, now you've just wasted a ton of capital on components, and you have a warehouse full of gadgets that could be obsolete in a few months. It is such a high-stakes balancing act.
Okay, so we get the rules, but how does a team actually pull this off? How do they follow them? Let's take a look at the journey, from a simple blueprint all the way to that finished product sitting in a box.
Now, the whole scope of this is just massive, but you can really break the journey down into 4 key stages. First up is design and planning. You got to know what you're building and how you're going to build it. Next is process and layout, which is figuring out the step-by-step process and literally how the factory floor is arranged. After that, it's all about control and management, keeping track of all the materials and the production flow. And finally, you've got quality and maintenance, which is where you lock in that quality and make sure the machines doing the work are in perfect shape.
And this is where you see just how deep the details go. We are talking about everything, from designing a PCB layout so it manages heat properly, all the way to arranging workstations in these efficient U-shaped cells to cut down on wasted movement. They use some pretty advanced statistics. It's called Statistical Process Control, or SPC, just to track tiny solder defects before they can cause a major failure. They manage all their components using a first-in, first-out system, FIFO, so older parts always get used first. I mean, even the basic tools like a multimeter have to be perfectly calibrated on a strict schedule. The detail is incredible.
I mean, the level of precision here is just staggering. It can literally come down to the exact angle that a tiny component is placed on a board by a robot. And it goes all the way to some really extreme testing, like a burn-in test for a power supply, where they run it at full blast for 48 straight hours, just to be absolutely certain it's not going to fail on you later.
So, okay, we've talked about all this complexity. Shaped work cells, burn-in tests. Why does any of this matter to you? Let's bring it all back home, because the truth is, it directly impacts your life every single day.
So what do you get out of all this obsessive, detailed planning? Well, you get a phone that doesn't crash in the middle of an important call. You get to walk into a store and actually find the thing you're looking for on the shelf. You get the almost magical affordability of modern tech. And maybe most importantly, you get peace of mind. You can know that the dozens of electronic devices you have in your home are fundamentally safe.
It really is the silent, complex discipline that makes our modern world tick. It's this hidden engine working behind the scenes that makes all of our high-tech gadgets possible, reliable, and safe.
So I want to leave you with a final thought. Just look around you right now. Take a look at your mouse, your monitor, your phone, your headphones. Ask yourself, which one of these things is a masterpiece of production management? And the answer, of course, is all of them.